has created mankind to be his servants and to represent him. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're asking our Shaykh, inshallah, to send us something that is going to benefit us. Because this is a sohbet. Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, Deeni nasihat. Deen, religion, it is advice. And Shaykh Naksibendi, the peer of our tariqat, is saying, prophets, they give advice. We are not prophets. Understand their adab. He says, we give sohbet, association. In the association now, the holy ones, they may give us ammunition in how to fight against first to our ego. First to our ego. To the shaitan that is inside and outside. To our dunya, to our desire. To fight against batil. And to live in that fight. Not to fight sometimes, and sometimes you say, I'm just going to relax. Because shaitan never stops relaxing. For 1 second since that time, in pre-eternity, when Allah giving him the order to make prostration to Adam alayhi salam, meaning to all of us, because we were that time present in Adam alayhi salam. He never stopped for 1 second to rest. So if the batil is not stopping, haq definitely must not stop and should not stop. So the sohbet, it is to remind people. This is not a class of fiqh. This is not a class of tajweed. This is not a classroom. This is for those that they want their hearts to be open. For those who say, I come here empty. Not to say, I come here full. If you come here full, you have to empty your cup and then you will come. And then we may fill something up. If you come here full, then nothing in it that we can put. We're asking Allah to make us to become empty so that we can come and we can get refreshed. This is asking support from the holy ones, from our Shaykh to speak. We are not speaking from our nafs or from our own ego. Whatever that is good there, that is coming from my Shaykh and your Shaykh, it's from him. May Allah raise his station. Anything that you say, you're hearing it is bad and you don't agree, say it is coming from me. So, sohbet, it is important. Sohbah, it is what makes the Arabs at the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who were against all civilization, who were against all teachings and morality, to become Sahabis. The Sohbet is what changed them, because Holy Prophet did not come giving them classes. He came and he spoke to them. He sat with them, cried with them, laughed with them, ate with them, prayed with them, lived his life with them, not pulling himself back and speaking. This is important. So when that happens, and a man comes and says, I need guidance in my life. I may have all the knowledge. I may have all the information. These days there's no knowledge, there's a lot of information. If you have no knowledge, definitely you won't have wisdom. Wisdom is the essence of knowledge. If you have knowledge and you have no wisdom, curse will fall to you sooner or later. As Shaitan had a lot of knowledge, but he has no wisdom. And if you have no wisdom, then your ego will trick you. So you have all of this, but you don't have a guide. You're going to fall into trouble because you're only relying on yourself. But you acknowledge you have no guide. But only Allah is alone. We are not. One way or another, something is coming to guide us. You have no guide, as Bayazid al-Bistami is saying, the one who has no Shaykh is shaitan. Meaning, now if you have no guide, that you're not taking that one who is the waris to be your guide, then all the whisperings you will take. You will hear whisperings. You're not going to hear whatever that is coming out, but you hear the whisperings. And it is the characteristic of the whispering. They say whisper, so shh, don't speak until the whisper becomes this overwhelming echo inside of you. You cannot hear anything else. And that time, even if you say, it's not going to help too much. There is the pattern also. So now, Islam came 1400 years ago. The Holy Prophet ﷺ came to teach us how to live. He came and he lived not only to teach us how to live, he came and he lived that lifestyle that humankind is still finding light and refreshment and beauty 1400 years later. If this world is going to last for 100,000 years until the world ends, we're going to find that refreshment. We're going to find that beauty. As long as we're holding on to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The arrogance of 21st century people is, they say we're not going to hold on to no one, only hold on to Allah. They become so square-headed that they say we're not even going to hold on to the Prophet because that is shirk. It is only to Allah. Oh, forget about awliya. Forget about awliya. Awliya are completely lost, completely shirk now. Forget about peers, forget about shaykhs, forget about guides, forget about holy people. But they take their advice from everything they read, everything they see, everything they hear, every song they listen to, every movie they watch, every video that they download. It sticks there, and you take it. And shaitan is whispering, saying this, make this connection, and go. Why you have to listen to one man? Don't you know how to read and write? This is exactly what they said in the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Why are you following that one? We know how to read and write. Prophet ﷺ, he was ummi. Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab saying, we are the aristocrats. Don't you see our buddies are the Kisra and the emperors? Don't you see we have so much power, we have new wealth, and we have all this kind of pull, and you're going to follow this man? Now, 21st century Fir'auns, majority of the people living in this world, they say, why you have to follow one man? Don't you know how to read the Quran? That's why they're saying, first thing they say, especially Arabs, they say, brother, you know how to speak Arabic? You don't know? Ah, you're not a Muslim. Basically they say. Then you don't understand Islam. Because don't you see the key to Islam is Arabic? If that is the key to Islam, why Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab and thousands of other ones wanted to kill the Prophet and to destroy Islam? And so now the wisdom and the hidayat and the guidance is not according to language, is not according to nationality, is not according to your experience, how rich you are, how poor you are. And these days, if you don't hold on to Haqq, not even your lineage can save you. If you turn away from it, it's finished. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us to be His servants and to represent. And He has sent us into this world. And in that Kitab, in that mother of the books, Quran-i-Karim, not one ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we send you into this world to collect all the wealth of this world. Meaning that the prophets did not come to teach mankind how to concentrate on the dunya. Concentrating on that dunya, it comes naturally in man too. It comes naturally. And in some way also it is necessary in this world to have your nafs, your desires. To have that. But not to have it to sit on top of you. Shaykh Maulana Shaykh Efendi is saying, if it's not for the unbelievers, the believers will still be living in caves. I'm talking about people who are completely connected to the Akhirat. I'm not talking about Muslims or non-Muslims. Because when it comes to civilization also, right up till the, let's say, 1700s, 1800s, the Muslims were leading the way in every field. It wasn't until the West started to rise and colonialism started to spread itself and industrial revolution, technology started to take root and turn people's lives upside down. Capitalism putting its flag there, and the fall of the monarchy and the rise of they're saying, how we say, the rise of popular rule, when the feet is choosing the head. Until that time, Islam has always led the way of civilization of this world. Which means now, it fits now. Holy Prophet ﷺ one time, he was gathering with his Sahabe-Kiram, and he told his Sahabis, now, turn around. They turned around. And he said, do you see your shadow? He says, yes, Ya Rasulullah. Now run and chase it until you catch it. They start running top speed right away. They didn't question. They didn't say, I can never do this. Is this a trick? Is this a joke? Is this? They ran. They didn't criticize. They ran. And then Prophet says, stop. Now turn around and face me, he's saying. Now run towards me. They started running towards the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet says, stop. Is your shadow following you? They said, yes. I said, that is dunya. The shadow is the dunya. As long as you're running after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this dunya will run after you. If you're running towards the dunya, you will never catch the dunya. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given an order to this world also. Those ones who are slaves to you, He said, those ones who are running after you, make them to be slaves to you. And never provide for them. Meaning, it doesn't mean you're not going to be billionaires or trillionaires. It means never put satisfaction in their hearts and peace in their hearts. Never let them to smell the paradise. Those who are running after you. But those ones who are running after me, He says, is His obligation now for you to run after them, to provide for them. Those who are running after you, don't give anything to them. Those who are running away from you to me, now it is your duty to serve them. You live by your faith, you will see how your rizq is coming through every way. It takes some belief, because especially in this 21st century, it becomes so materialistic that we say, how are we going to live? If you don't do this, this is not going to happen. You don't do this, this is not going to happen. You even think how you came into this world? How you came into this world, male or female? Did you choose? Did we make a deal with Allah? No. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us into this world to become His Khalifah, to know Him, to know ourselves, to know Him, and to return back to Him the way that He has created us, in ahsani taqwim, in the most perfect form. The prophets came to teach mankind and to remind mankind, we are created in ahsani taqwim. We are created in the most perfect form, because every child that is born into this world is born in submission, in purity, a Muslim. And if he dies before the age of maturity, where he is not responsible, he will enter directly to paradise. And our aim is to return to Allah in ahsani taqwim, in the most perfect form. If we don't return to Allah clean, the grave is going to clean us. The ground, you know, Shaykh Efendi said, you know why they call it the ground? Because it grinds you. Every day we're hearing, say we have to do some renovation in this masjid, they open it up, they dig a grave and they see, oh, this man was buried 20 years ago. He's still fresh. There's nice smell coming out from him. They dig another place, they say, this woman buried 13 years ago. It's the same, 1 year ago, continuously now in Islam. In fact, I was just remembering a riwayat when one of the earlier sultans was expanding the Masjid al-Nabawi, the Prophet's mosque, and he was expanding the area of the chambers of the Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam. This is also a big sickness also in people, especially for those ones who are saying we are Ahli Sunnat, Ahli Tasawwuf also, because they are rushing for the Prophet ﷺ, but they are disrespecting Hazrat Abu Bakr, who is buried right next to him, and Hazrat Umar. How many you think they're going to? But when the Sultan was expanding and they had to break the walls, there was the rooms that he was there. Of course, Hazrat Umar bought the plot from who? Yeah. Hazrat Aisha gave it, not bought like that, but gave it to him. And they were digging close, and they're digging the foundation. And when they dug the foundation, this was, I'm talking hundreds of years later, I forget which sultan it was. They dug and it was too close, and the foot of Hazrat Umar was exposed. Hundreds of years later, can you imagine how blessed it is just to see the foot of Hazrat Umar? And then they cover it. So now, those ones who clean themselves before they enter into the grave, it is forbidden for the earth now to touch them, the bodies of the prophets and the bodies of the saints. Forbidden, because they go away clean. When they are entering into that clean, that world clean, they will get up clean, they will cross the Sirat clean, and they will be with their Lord clean. If you're not cleaning yourself in this world, the first trouble is the grave. And that grave, there are those who are buried thousands of years ago, when the Israfil is going to blow the horn again. Don't think horn is like this horn. He's going to make that sound again. And everything is going to rise up for the second time. Some in the grave, thousands of years ago, they were buried, they got up and they say, oh, it's already Judgment Day. I just fell asleep and I woke up. And it was a very nice rest. And some that they just passed away, they were buried just short time until the horn was blown, but it felt like they were inside there in punishment forever. So Allah creates a world inside this world and a time inside this time too. But if we are busy now cleaning ourselves up, we will enter there clean. This is the whole aim of mankind, to live clean and to return to our Lord clean. This world, what is it that we need from this world that Allah is not going to provide? Everything in this world He has provided. He has created for us. But He has created us for Himself. When the Holy Prophet ﷺ was going on the Mi'raj, he was riding on the Burak and he heard a voice calling him, giving him salams. He didn't even answer. After a while, he is asking Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, who was that who asked me? He said, oh, if you had answered, Ya Rasulullah, your whole nation would have suffered if you had answered. That was dunya who gave you salams. And dunya was dressed up, appeared in the appearances of an old sick woman, wearing the best clothes and wearing jewelry and putting paint on her face and calling. That is the dunya. So the believer is going to ask, what is the reason of my creation? And he's going to hold on to the answer that the Creator has given, not his own answer or anyone else's answer. So the civilization, if you're talking about Islamic civilization, it is different. If you're talking about the civilization of people of high ruhaniyat, it is completely different now. Very rare you're going to find, let's say in Islamic history, in Islamic civilization, where, I was going to say balance, but it's not balance, where it is the ruhaniyat that is motorizing and giving power to the physical civilization. Huh? Are you understanding what I'm saying? High civilization came after the Holy Prophet ﷺ passed. They entered into Khalifah Rashidin, still just laying the foundations. Enter into, straight away, it was the golden age. The Umayyas were ruling. Straight away was the golden age. And there was high civilization that the world had never seen before. And don't look down. That empire was huge. That empire was collecting lands and peoples and knowledges and civilizations of thousands of years ago. They were studying all those civilizations and they were taking the best and they were using it. It was an Islamic ruling empire. But what was motorizing it was not ruhaniyat, was not spirituality so much. So even when Damascus, it was shiny, only after less than 200 years, the Umayyas, they were knocked down by the Abbasis and they were punished heavily. They were punished very, very, very heavily. Those ones who were buried, they did not escape too. Those Abbasis saying, we're going to bring back justice because these are the ones like this or like that. Not every one of them, but some of them, they were doing things that is not so good, running after to finish the Ahlul Bayt. Now they are being used now. They say, we're going to dig all of them up and we're going to burn their bodies. Those ones who are alive, we're going to kill every single one of them. All of them, this Umayyas would have completely finished. But one escaped to Spain. At that time, Spain was also including Portugal, that whole Iberian Peninsula. If not, if he was finished, the whole lineage would have finished also. Abbasis then moved the capital to Baghdad. They built a civilization that was even much better, even much bigger, even more beautiful, even more advanced. Not only compared to the rest of the world and Europe, East, West, North and South, but also compared to their own Muslims, the Umayyads. But when it wasn't completely supported by ruhaniyat, spirituality, Allah will send another punishment to them. And the punishment happened. Baghdad. Now, understand, Baghdad. The Mongols, they came and they made a big smack to the Muslims. They almost destroyed the Khilafat. They burnt the libraries. The whole civilization was lost. Muslims today who are still saying, oh, our lost civilization, and they trace back to that time, saying we had so much this, so much that. But you're missing the point. This is still, this kind of civilization, when it's not supported by spirituality, by ruhaniyat, it is still what? It is still dunya. Yes, Islamic rule, better than anything, but it is still dunya. And if you are running after the dunya will run away from you. And this is what happened. Then it became splintered for a while. The Khilafat then went here and there, and then it settled in Egypt after a while. And it wasn't until first the Seljuks who came, and then the Ottomans who came. Now the Ottomans, from the beginning to the end, completely different from all the earlier ones, civilizations we're talking about now. Because Sultan Mehmed Fatihan, the first, let's say, Ottoman Sultan who conquered Istanbul, Constantinople at that time, he was a Nakshibendi. He had a Sheykh. If you go back all the way back to the founder of the Ottoman dynasty also, Osman Ghazi, he had a Sheykh. And he was following tariqat and Sufi ways. Continuously, every sultan, Ottoman sultan, until the last sultan, Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan, Jannat Mekan, the one who was ruling, he had a Sheykh. And they made sure that the laws of the country is supported by tasawwuf. They made sure. Now you see, now tasawwuf, Sufism, started to rain down on the people. And up till today, even when you have in those areas where they say, no, we are not this, we are not this, we are secular, we are atheists, we're this and that, you still see their practices, their personal habits is from tasawwuf, is from sunnat, but they don't know. Because it's so much in their DNA for over 700 years. This is what makes it very singular. If you look at different Islamic civilizations, dynasties also, and empires, you don't find the same kind of importance that those rulers have towards tariqat and towards the sheikhs and towards the awliya Allah. They were giving high respect. They were stopping people from cursing at the Sahabe-i-Kiram. They were giving pay to the Ahlul Bayt, to the family of the Prophet ﷺ, whoever that was living. They say, you cannot work now. You come from the family. Your job is to sit and to pray for us. They say it is dishonor for us if you work. Then that strength continued because they were carrying the laws of Islam. They were carrying the laws of Allah and His Prophet. They were carrying the Shariat. Now they took those laws, they changed it, and they put man-made laws. From that time until now, everyone is suffering. Because man is thinking we make ourselves, we make this world. So even if we reach to the moon, which so many believe, you think we have really entered into an era of civilization? And what is the meaning of civilization? To build tall buildings? To have nice houses? What is the meaning of civilization now? Man has a body and he has a spirit. There is batin and there is zahir. If your zahir, if your body is really great, the best, but your spirit it is rotten, what good are you? So now when we look at civilization, from the outside, it may look really good. But if you don't have that spirit that is in there, then you can have the tallest buildings, you can claim to have the highest innovations in technologies, but you become the most arrogant, the most selfish, the most harmful, the most evil people on the face of this world. This is what 21st century mankind has become. The damage that we have done to this world, just this world, forget about the spirit. This world is unprecedented. Never before. Mankind has come together to destroy this earth, to destroy the air, to destroy the water, and to destroy the animals. And on Judgment Day, everything is going to complain against us. Because they have been created for us, but it is forbidden for us to be zalim to them. Forbidden. Allah is saying, I forbidden zulm to myself. Don't be zalim. That's why this is what Shariat is. The law is to protect. Because if there is no law, you make that law to yourself, you become a zalim. You become a tyrant. And the tyrant always says what? I am above the law. So, this era that we are living in now, if mankind is not understanding the danger, we haven't even entered into this era of Dajjal, that the system of Dajjal is here, that we are living in that system. Religion, it is advice. Prophet ﷺ is saying. Prophet ﷺ is saying, give people the good news. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, give the people the good news and warn them. It's continuing, warn them. Now, when the whole ship lost the compass and the whole ship, it is sinking, it is not good news. You cannot be talking about good news. Those who are talking about good news, most likely you are evil because ship is sinking. Ship is sinking. Ship is sinking and people are saying, no, look at the stars, so beautiful. Subhanallah. Look at the air, look at this. But the ship is sinking. This whole world is sinking. This whole world is burning. If you're not warning people and providing a way for them to be able to escape, then definitely you're with the shaitans that is sinking this world. We are not the only world. There are thousands of worlds. There are untold worlds. But what Allah has given us, it is irreplaceable, which is the spirit. It is the spirit that is going to return to Allah, not our bodies. Nothing from this world we're going to carry back. Nothing, that's why in Islam, nothing from this world should enter into the grave. Don't make any pretense. Don't be like Firaun. They enter into the grave and want to bring everything from their own houses into the grave also. They make their wives to They kill their wives, they put it there, they even put servants there. They put their cats and their dogs there also. They say, I like my chair. So they say, put the chair in there too. They put the chair. And then what happened? You managed to keep that sealed 100, 200 years. Thousands of years later, someone is going to open it and say, ha ha ha, you think you're going to bring this, huh? No way you're going to bring this. You are dead. These things belong to us, the living. And they steal everything. Because everything from this world remains in this world. Doesn't enter into the grave. And more punishment given to them. You know what big craze happened to the Europe when they colonized all this? Because the Ottomans had this colonized Rome. The Ottomans controlled Egypt. Colonization is different. If the Ottomans colonized Egypt, everyone in Egypt would speak Turkish. They would forget about their own culture. Or they'd be psychotic. Okay? It didn't happen. So when the Ottomans, they controlled Egypt, all these pharaohs and all these tombs and everything was there. They didn't go crazy. They didn't go crazy. They say, well, these are cursed ones. Why we have to go crazy? Take lesson, you get lesson, okay, don't go crazy. There was no science or art or faculty or university committed to studying them. You put all this energy to studying who? The Prophet. Sahabe Kiram, Awliya Allah, the good ones, not the bad ones. Huh? You know one of the reasons why today people are Firaun? Because at that time when the British took over and the French that took over, they became crazy. They even started to eat the Firauns. They discover all the sarcophagus and all the mummies, and they believe, because at that time also the occult was very spiritualism, they call it, where they stop believing in Christianity 100, 200 years. Now they say, but there is still something out there that we cannot explain, so now they got to be busy with typhus. Okay? And they discover all these things. They say there must be great energy coming from here. They take it, they grind it, and they eat it. They are selling it to Europe. They say this is very powerful. Curse coming to them continuously through the generations. So what kind of civilization we want? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying what about this dunya? Let's not forget, this dunya still has a creator, still has an owner. What is the owner saying? We are not the owners of this world. We are not owners of this world. We are the guests coming. This is just temporary. We're coming and we're passing. This world still has an owner. It's Allah. This world still has a creator. That has never changed. What is He saying about this? He's saying, warning us through so many ayats, saying that this world is just an amusement. This world is nothing but a test. This world, don't get trapped in it. Ayat after ayat, hadith after hadith. Mankind, when he is forgetting his Lord, he starts thinking that he is Lord. And when he starts thinking he is Lord, he says, whatever I see then is my kingdom. And then after they get bored with what they see, they say, what about up there? Also my kingdom, like Nemrut. Yeah, at least Firaun is not challenging Allah and saying, I want to rule the skies too. Did Firaun ever make that claim? I don't think so. But Nemrut became so Nemrut that he is saying, this world is not enough for me. I want to rule the skies now. Because before, in Ibrahim alayhi salam coming to him and say, stop all this foolishness. Return to your Lord. Return to your Creator. Nemrut saying, who is this Lord? Saying, you know, it's Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where He lives? Up, but it is beyond time, beyond space. He's saying the sky, well, He can rule the sky, I rule the earth. And after a while, he's saying, I want to rule the skies too. And Allah punish him. And his people from creatures that came from the earth and they fly through the sky. And in very subtle, latif way, everything was finished. Today's people became Pharaohs and Namruds, saying, now we want to rule the skies too. We want to challenge. And then what happens? When you declare lordship, Shaitan becomes very happy with you. And Shaitan say, my job is finished now. Because you managed to do what even I cannot even imagine to do, which is to declare myself Lord against my Lord. Shaitan is not doing that. May Allah make us to hold on tightly, inshallah, and not to be tricked in this Akhir Zaman, to live our life simple and clean, to protect ourselves, to protect our iman, to become sincere ones, to give us more faith and more sincerity, inshallah. May Allah forgive me and bless all of you. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Hurmatil Habib, Hurmatil Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum.